Hello and welcome to A Chef Inside You, where tonight we're going to be making pot roast. I am your chef, Elisha, and I will be teaching you how to make this fabulous meal. So grab all the stuff that you need because class is now in session.
Good afternoon and welcome to The Chef Inside You. This is a culinary school that teaches you how to make everyday foods from home. I am your chef, Elisha, and I will be teaching you how to make pot roast today. You're going to need some celery. You're also going to need some carrots. You're going to need a nice beef butt round roast, some onions, some potatoes. I have red potatoes here, but you can use whatever potatoes you like. You're going to need some minced garlic, some pepper, some salt, and a good knife and a cutting board to slice up your vegetables. Also, you're going to need a crock pot. If you don't have a crock pot, that's okay. You can still use a stock pot or a, I just forgot the name of that. What is that called? Ceramic pot. But anyway, also, I forgot, you're going to need a little bit of flour. Sometimes the potato has enough starch you don't need flour, but you will need a little bit to dust your meat when we sear it on the stove. And you're going to need some water. I have about a full container of water. You probably won't use all that. It's just to kind of cover the bottom of the crock pot. Alright, so class has begun. Okay, so what you want to do first is we're going to slice up, I'm going to put that aside, we're going to slice up the vegetables. Okay, and over there. Okay, so first what you're going to do is you're going to want to cut off the bottom and cut off the top. Now I take this, cut that off, and you can use this. This isn't going to hurt you. This is, I eat peanut butter with these. So what you're going to do is you're just going to slice off the ends, okay? And if you want to make it nice and pretty, just kind of cut them at an angle. See? And you can cut them thinner if you like. It doesn't really matter. So we're just going to stick that over there. Okay, so I'm going to do, probably about 1/2 inch. Could be a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to diagonal them. Okay, so you're just going to diagonal them all the way down. I know some people aren't big fans of celery. I'm not a big fan of cooked celery. So I don't, put a lot of them in there. So I'm just going to chop the ends off here. And then we're just going to cut this one in half. Okay, and then chop the end off of this one. Set that over there. Garbage bowl over here. Make sure you have a garbage bowl. It makes it so much easier than having to, unless you have your trash can right there. So I'm just gonna, like I said, you can cut them as thin or as thick as you like. So we're just gonna, I might vary them. That actually is a little bit smaller. I think that will do better. Pot roast, I think it's probably one of the easiest meals to make. You just set it and forget it. You put it all together, you set the timer, and you put it either on low for 10 to 12 hours, or you cook it on high for 8 to 6 hours. 6 to 8 hours. Said that backwards. Okay, so then, just going to continue to do this here. Alright, so we're just going to continue to dice our celery. Okay, so we have our diced celery. Now, for the carrots, what you want to do, make sure you wash your vegetables, okay, really, really thoroughly. And you're just going to chop the ends off of the carrots. And some people slice them in half. Doesn't really, I mean, you can if you want to. The thicker parts, but I just do the same thing. I make them smaller. I make them more of a 1/4 of an inch. And then just, go on down the carrot. Be careful not to slice your fingers off. So we have diced carrot. Do this one. You can have as many carrots or celery as you like. I just picked out 3. So, now remember these are going to take a little bit to cook. So we're going to put these in the crock pot first while we get the meat going. So that one and the end off of that. And slice away. Whoops. Alright. So we got our carrots and our celery. Now we're going to do our onion. And I'm using about 1/4 of an onion. If you don't know how to slice or dice or mince your onion, please check out my onion chopper video. It'll teach you how to do all that. But what I did is, I'm not very much into onion, and onion is mainly for flavor anyway. I don't really eat it per se. I love onion rings though. So what you're going to do is, I've got, like I said, about 1/4 of a half. So I'm just going to cut it in half again. And then I'm just going to slice it, because you can do it like that, or you can just dice it. Or not dice it, but, you know, just do chunks like this. It's fine. But, so I'm just going to use just a little bit. Just run it around this side too. Careful not to cut your fingers off. Okay, so we've got our celery and our onions and our carrots. And then now we're going to work on the potatoes. Make sure you wash your potatoes. Also, if you find little black marks or dents or bruises or anything, you just peel those right on off. Cut them off, I should say. Oops, I guess I didn't get down far enough. Careful not to slice your finger off. Go this way. Oops. It's okay, because we're just going to dice those anyway. Okay. Good. So I'm just going to dice them like this. Now you can keep them like this if you like, depending upon the size of your potato. If you have a big rustic potato, then you're going to want to make them about this size. The slices, and normally that takes about a cut here and a cut here and a cut maybe down the middle, or just one down the middle and then straight across. So I'm going to keep them about this size, and I'm going to put them in here. So I'm just going to slice them on down. I'll try this way here. These are a little bit smaller. So yeah, I think we're just going to keep them the other way. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. And you want all your potatoes about the same size, so they'll cook the same. And potatoes, like these are the red potatoes, so they're not going to cook as long as your rustic potato or your golden potato. Okay, the golden potato will cook less than the red potato. So always keep that in mind too. Going to continue to slice up my potatoes here. I have about 6 potatoes. You can use as many potatoes as you need. I've got a 7-quart crock pot over here that I'm going to be using. You can use any size you like. This meal is good for when you're having company over. This meal is also good for, okay, that's just you know, just for you and your husband, or your husband and your wife, whoever is watching. Whoops. So I've got the potatoes. I might actually cut those in half. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. These are actually a little longer. Alright, I am done with the potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my little bowl here. All our vegetables. Because next we're going to tackle the meat. Alright, so I'm going to continue to, whoops, make sure you get all your ends out. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this all up, and we're going to get ready to put our meat on the stove, because we're going to sear it for a couple minutes on each side before we put it in there. So stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to put these vegetables in the slow cooker. All right. Okay, welcome back. Okay, as you can see, I've got the inside of my crock pot sitting on here on the cutting board. And so all you're going to do is you're just going to put your vegetables in the bottom. Make a little bit of a hole. Make a little bit of a hole so that way the meat will sit surrounded by the vegetables versus just on top of them. You don't want them to burn. So I'm just going to, now I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. It's probably about a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to run around the edge here of it. All right. And some pepper. You can add as much pepper as you like. I like pepper, so I'm going to add a lot of pepper. And some garlic. I forgot a spoon, so we're just going to use the edge of my knife. And this is, probably about a teaspoon of garlic. You don't want it too garlicky. Okay, so now you just want to put the lid on. However, whatever time limit you're looking at, like I said, you put it on low, it's going to cook for 10 to 12 hours. If you put it on high, it'll cook for 6 to 8 hours. I'm going to be cooking it on high, so it will be done in 6 to 8 hours. Oh, I forgot one thing. Oh, you know what? No, that's okay. The water goes in after we put the meat in. Okay, so when we return, we'll be in the kitchen searing up our beautiful cut of beef. All right, stay tuned. All right, welcome back. As you can see, I've got the skillet warming up, and I have taken the packaging off of the meat. So, in the flour, I have put some onion or garlic powder, salt, and pepper. So we're just going to dust this off just a little bit. We're going to put it on there just a little bit. We can use our fingers. Okay. Because all we're going to do is we're just going to sear it. I just want to turn this over here. I'm just going to use my fork. Turn that over. I can get the other side. So you're just going to dust the pot roast with a little flour. There we go. Alright, now we're just going to put it, I'm going to put it fat side down first, into our hot skillet. So, I'm going to let this brown. You want to let it brown for about 5 minutes, depending upon your heat. About 5 minutes. So you have, you know, a nice crust, a nice brown. And then we'll flip it over and brown the other side, and then we'll put it in the crock pot. So stay tuned. I'll show you what it'll look like when we're ready to flip it. Welcome back. Okay, 5 minutes has been up. Alright, we're going to, oh, look at that. That's what you're looking for. Nice golden color. See how it's kind of cooked along the edges, but the inside's still rare. So we're going to do this to the other side. Make sure the heat's not too hot. I got it just a little bit too hot, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. So we're going to go ahead and stew this for about another 3 to 5 minutes. And when I come back, we'll put it on the plate, and we'll put it in the crock pot. Alright, see you in a few. Okay, as you can see, I have now begun to turn it. I am searing the sides. I forgot to say, you can sear the sides if you like. So I'm going to sear those for a few more minutes. sear this side as well, and then we'll put it on the plate, and then we'll get it in the crock pot. Alright, so, sorry about the wavy camera. Alright, so I'll see you in a few. Alright, welcome back. As you can see, I have taken the meat out of the skillet, and I've got some water here, and I have taken the inside out of our crock pot. So I'm just going to put the lid over here, and we're just going to go ahead and plop this bad boy right in the middle of the crock pot. Move your vegetables out of the way. Okay. There we go. Whoops. Trying to move the vegetables out from underneath it. This was a bigger piece than I thought. Alright. So you want it to look like that. That's what you want it to look like. So now I'm just going to add just a little bit of water, because the water is what's going to help steam it. And you don't want it covering it. Like I said, you don't have a full container here. So I'm probably going to use a little, about half a container. I may actually use the whole one. Let's see. How are we doing? You want it to just kind of cover the bottom. You don't want it too far up. Just cover the bottom. Just enough to get it to steam it and cook it. You want it to cook. A little bit more. Okay. Alright, that is going to be good. Move this potato over here. I need to move this because this is too close to the side. So I'm trying to move it so it's not so close to the side. You don't want your meat on the side. Alright, so that's your pot roast. That's what it's going to look like before you cook it. So now I'm going to put the lid on it. We're going to put it in the shell for it to cook. Like I said, I've got it on high heat. It's going to cook for 6 to 8 hours. The cool thing about crock pots is you get to set it and forget it. So I will be back in 6 to 8 hours and show you this beautiful meal. So stick around, go run some errands, cook yourself some lunch, babysit some kids, whatever it is that you have to do, go ahead and do it. So until I see you in the next 6 hours, enjoy and have a great day, and I will be back. Okay, so it's been about 3 hours, and as you can see, it is just bubbling away in there. And everything is starting to break down. The meat looks fantastic. And as you can see, there is a little bit more water than I was hoping. But that's okay. If there is too much water, then you can just go in there, or liquid, you can just go in there and get one of those, oh, what do you want to call them? They're, I call them, I forgot what it's called. You can take a spoon, put it in a bowl, use a little cup, but, it has the ball on the top and a tube, and you squeeze it and it sucks it in there. So I just call it a liquid sucker. I know there's a name for it, and my mind has gone blank, so I apologize about that. So anyway, this is what you're looking for. And remember, I have mine cooking on high heat, And so I've got about another 3 to 5 hours, just depending upon what it's going to look like at the 6-hour mark. And I will come back and show you what it'll look like at the 6-hour mark. Alright guys, I hope your house smells just as wonderful as mine, and I hope everything is turning out just as well as mine. So, keep cooking! See you soon. Alright, we have made it to the 6-hour mark! Yay! Pat yourself on the back. I'm just kidding. Alright, so it is 6 hours from the time that we have started our pot roast. Look at those potatoes. Look at the bubbles just going crazy. Everything is just breaking down so beautifully. And so now we're just going to check on it. And how you know if the pot roast is ready, sorry, that was my hand, is you start pulling it apart. And if it starts coming apart really nicely, then it's done. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that a beauty? Look. Woo. Excuse me. Okay, so looking pretty good. It's looking really good. Okay, so the potatoes are about done. Okay, so you just want to stab those. Yeah, they're coming apart. The celery. We've got liquid in here. That's going to make our gravy. We're going to make our gravy right in the pot as soon as we get everything out. I'm thinking, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, or I shouldn't say bearer of bad news, but go ahead and take a piece and try it. I'm going to try it. That's how you really know. So hold on just a second. Oh, wow. Very flavorful, very juicy. You can pull it on out now if you want. My potatoes are done, and so are my carrots. So I can pick them up and they're good to go. So the choice is up to you. I'm at the 6-hour mark. Yours might be bigger than mine. You might have bigger vegetables than me. But I can put my fork all the way through it. And don't worry, see the coloring in there? There's nothing wrong with that. That's good. You want that color. You don't want it to be black or anything. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get this meat out. So I'll be right back, get a plate, and start making the gravy, and then we're going to plate it. So stick around. I'll be right back. Alright, as you can see, we are going to be making the gravy. So I have a whisk, and I have taken out all the vegetables and the meat, and that's what you want to do. And it's just so much simpler instead of having to transfer all this juice to the stove. So I'm just going to start with just a little bit of flour at a time, because you don't want a really thick gravy anyway. So you're just going to whisk that in. So we're just going to whisk that in. Actually, what I'm going to do is I am going to be right back. I'm going to get a little cup, and then we're going to do it that way. So hold on just one second. Okay, so I am taking some of the juices out and have put it in a bowl, and I have put about a tablespoon or so of flour in here, and I have just whisked it really good. As you can see, it's a lot thicker than what we have in here. So now I'm just going to take this and pour this in to our juices. And really good. And that flour should thicken up this just a little bit. Now, like I said, you don't want a thick gravy. You just want a little bit, not au jus though. So you want a little thickness to it, but not terribly thick. So I'm going to continue to stir this and possibly add just a little bit more flour to it, but it looks like it's getting thicker. So I'm just going to stir this a little bit more. Oh, the black from that. That's going to be fun to clean. Nah, it'll be alright. Okay, well, looks like it needs just a little bit more flour. So, I'm just going to add just a little bit more flour to it. So I'm just taking a little bit back out of the bowl, putting it in a separate bowl, and then I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more flour. So I'll be right back. Okay, I have added the second bowl in. I put it out less than a tablespoon in there. Oh, I can already feel it thickening it out a little bit more. Yeah, see that? See the waves? They're thicker. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this for about 5 minutes because you want your meat to rest anyway. Because if you cut into the meat when it is just taken off, then you're going to lose all your juices. And you don't want dry meat. So just let it sit for about 5-10 minutes. And then hopefully that'll come back up to a simmer. And that'll thicken a little bit. And then we'll be able to plate it. So when I come back, we'll plate this. And then we can enjoy it. Alright, I'll see you soon. Alrighty, welcome back. Okay, as you can see, I have my plate here, and we have the pot roast, and we have our vegetables, and I put a little bit of the gravy into a bowl. Alright, so let's get this thing plated. Alright, well, I've already kind of cut, or I don't even know why I brought a knife. It's so falling apart, I don't need a knife. However, I'm going to use it anyway. Just to put it on the plate. Alright. See? It's just falling right off. I can't even really put it on the plate. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the plate like so. There we go. Alright. Look at that. Oh, that looks so beautiful. It smells divine. Alright, we're going to get a couple potatoes here. Just a little bit. And you can smash these up, put some butter on them. However it is that you, you eat your potatoes. So I got some potatoes. I'm going to put some carrots. There we go. And normally you would eat a salad with this, but I did not make a salad because I just wanted meatloaf. So I'm just going to do kind of, whoops, let's not knock the meat on the floor. Do kind of a separation thing here. Just a little bit more here. There we go. All right. So we have the potatoes, we have the carrots, and we have some celery. So now I am just going to pour just a little bit on top of the meat of the gravy. As you can see, it is a little bit thicker. Now you can have it as thick as you really want. If you want a thick gravy to go with this, then that's fine. I'm just going to add just a little bit to the potatoes. There we go. And some on there. Alright folks, there you have it. Pot roast. One of America's favorites. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned a lot. And please subscribe. You can learn a lot more. There are more videos to come. If you have any questions or comments or any special requests, you can leave them in the comments, or you can leave them in my email. It's on the bottom of this video. And I really would like to see your pictures, and I would love to hear your stories. So, thank you for coming to class and learning how to make pot roast. Aren't you glad you let your chef out? Take care, guys.
There you go, folks. Pot roast baby. Thanks for watching, and God bless.